So anybody that's followed me or, any of my other channels knows that I'm a mental health nurse. I'm a psychiatric nurse. I've been one for 13 years. And I've said how I don't blame the doctors. I don't blame the bedside care. It's the experts that keep making it worse. And so here's my big concern, especially with AI. Because I do see the videos where people are all excited because AI is coming up with diagnoses for, in the medical industry. And then it'll evaluate everything for the doctor, and then the doctor just has to write the scripts. It'll evaluate the labs, it'll evaluate, and they want to go as far as on every corner to put these like med hubs where you'll go in and like have your hand scanned, or it'll just do some basic tests, and then you virtually can pick things and it will diagnose you, and you never have any contact with a human being. And I imagine there would be a lot of people that would prefer that. People do like virtual health. Okay, I think it's actually cruel in mental health personally, but I think it's cruel when somebody's in crisis to put a laptop in front of them instead of a human being face to face with them. But that's where it's all going. So that's the reason I make such a big deal about human care. The other thing with this, okay, is that every video I come across where people are like, this is so great, where the doctors don't have to do anything, and it will eliminate different areas of medicine, like for pathologists that study under the microscope and determine what the disease is. AI can do that now. So they will eventually be limited out. Infectious diseases, doctors will be able to be eliminated out because the AI will be able to do all that much faster, and they say with much accuracy. That's where my concern is. Yes, human beings have flaws and make mistakes, but the way AI is being presented to people is that it never is wrong. But somebody's programming it. And yes, we can say, oh, it learns from everyone. But it still doesn't have the same capabilities as a human being does. So it can maybe spit out diagnoses fast, but it doesn't mean they're going to always be the right diagnoses. So when the doctor has to write that script, or when AI sends your insurance billing in, then who will that be? Like, if it's wrong, who's held responsible, AI or the doctor? Or is anybody? So that's part of the concern, is there's this automatic thought by healthcare workers that no, it's always going to be right. No, it's been known to be wrong. I get concerned too with the mental health patients because that's the people I work with. And if you look at the medical industry overall, the science industry, it has a dark history when it comes to mental health patients. They're the most vulnerable. And I guess there's part of this, I feel protective of them. Nobody specific, just overall, because of that dark history where there was so much experimentation done on them. So these neurotechnologists, these Elon Musks and their Neuralink, it's like there's this big part of me that wants to say, over my dead body, come through me, but don't you leave these people alone, because your history with messing with mental health patients is horrid. Horrid. Any mental health nurse knows that, okay? They were doing lobotomies. They did one on Rosemary Kennedy. And then just left her in an institution. Lobotomy, go watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And no, nurses are not like Nurse Ratched. I'm not. But Jack Nicholson at the end is just a vegetable. Lobotomies were the most, and the things they did, with going through the eye with the, it's just, it's like you have to be a crazy scientist or doctor to do shit like that. And that's not all. I mean, you know, the science is in its history, the Tuskegee experiments, everything. They've done some pretty outlandish stuff. So, and this is where I probably would bump heads with Donald Trump, because he sees Elon Musk as the expert of all this shit. And I say, no, you don't want to listen to the experts, Donald Trump. You don't. You want the person that's popular. So, you know, and that doesn't mean I don't support Trump. I do. I've spent 4 years doing videos about him. But again, I call it as I see it. And I work in mental health, so I know it much better than Donald Trump. I know it much better than Elon Musk. I've worked with adolescents, I've worked with elderly, I've worked with adults, I've worked with detox patients, people withdrawing. I know that lifestyle very well, just because of my own history going back 30 years ago. So I got into mental health because I wanted to help people. And AI is the worst thing for it, because the more you take the human out of healthcare and you do it in mental health, and I get it. I'm not saying that so let me say this. For people that like see a psychiatrist or a counselor and you want to do it virtually, I think that's fine. I get why people don't want to get in their car, have to drive somewhere. Totally fine. I'm talking about when somebody's in a crisis situation. It is cruel to put a laptop in front of them. And then they have to answer all these assessment questions. And oftentimes they get agitated. And if it was me, I would get agitated too. So AI is hurting mental health. So it may help your industry. But all of you people on TikTok and all over social media raving about it, you just assume that no matter what AI, it's like the science. You just assume that whatever Anthony Fauci says, or some expert that has 25 letters after their name, that they're going to be right. And if you look at everything Fauci did, everything he did was wrong. It was. From one mask to then saying 2 masks to standing 6 feet. All of it was. It's been totally shown to be that everything he did, he even wrote about you shouldn't do back, decades ago. So but that's what happens with the higher educated, is that, well, that's what the science says. And now I see them doing that with AI. Well, no, AI is right about everything. Yeah, that's what they want you to believe, but it hasn't been right about everything. And I would feel safer with a human than AI. And where healthcare will take this is to where AI controls everything. And right now, in the medical industry, it's getting the doctors are getting the benefit of it, because it's sending their bills off to the insurance company, and it's helping them fight back against claims that are denied and getting reimbursed. But who's going to be because at some point, whoever programs AI initially can change it. And if you look at the mental health history, there was shady things that went on. And most people would say, oh, those people aren't around today. Well, if they were around 50 years ago, 60 years ago in those mental institutions that were doing things that, I don't know, in my opinion, they should have been like, yeah, this is really cruel. What the hell is wrong with us? Then what makes you think they're not still around today? They're the people that created AI. Elon Musk suggests grok AI as a role in healthcare. Yeah, of course he's interested in healthcare, because he has the Neuralink chips he wants to use. And the people that I think they'll end up doing it on, not saying all, but they'll the mental health population, because they're a vulnerable population that you could easily manipulate for people that just care about putting chips in somebody. Musk, who owns Tesla and SpaceX, could bring together his parallel interests with his company Neuralink, which has demonstrated success with its brain-computer interface technology. Neuralink is now focused on giving quadriplegics the ability to control their computers and mobile devices with their thoughts. That all sounds great. It's the part that isn't great that I'm more concerned about, which is the merging of machine and man through chips.